60 men on a dead man's chest. Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. Devil and drinking and all the rest. Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. Welcome back to part 3, everybody. Smithills Hall. You need to watch part 1 and 2 for this part 3 to make any sense, because we've broken this hall up into 3 parts. Part 2, we was looking for a pirate named Bellamy. We've done a little research and found out that there was a pirate named Sam Bellamy, also called Black Sam. We think he was the pirate that came and stayed here at Smithills Hall. He was one of the top 4 pirates, along with Blackbeard and Charles Vane. So we were given the name Bellamy by my spirit guide Lewis, so we're thinking that that's who we've picked up on. So we're going to head off round now to the quadrangle bit, which is part 1500s and part Victorian. And Andy's going to be conducting some experiments and see what we can connect up with. This is the Victorian section of Smithills Hall that used to belong to the Ainsworth family. And you might have seen in part 1 that we already did some of this hall, but at the garden end, this part where we're at now is the Lady Ainsworth bedroom, the Colonel Ainsworth bedroom, the servants' quarters, which are upstairs, and we've got the Great Hall. In fact, while Andy's setting up his stuff, we'll just do a little walk around the quadrangle here, and I'll point out which areas which. So this particular bit here is Colonel Ainsworth's library and his private rooms. This here we're coming up to is the medieval, it's the Great Hall. It was the original hall, which then became the Great Hall, and then other parts got added on over the centuries. And coming up here is the original Tudor part of Smithills Hall, built in the 1500s, 15 to 1600s. Henry VIII and Elizabeth I time, and this is where George Marsh is said to haunt. He is the ghost of a monk, of a priest. He was a Church of England priest who became a martyr because he wouldn't convert to the Catholic faith, and he was taken up to Lancaster for trial, and then he was taken down to Chester and burnt at the stake. So this is the corridor where he has been seen on some occasions. He's a regular ghost here, by all accounts. Some of the staff have seen him. This is the chapel that the Ainsworths added on. And still today they do weddings, christenings, that kind of thing. So that's the quadrangle. So the quadrangle's good because we got like 3 different layers of history going on here. Got the original hall, we've got the Tudor bit, and then we've got the Victorian extension that the Ainsworths added on here. So we've come full circle, or full square rather. Going to come back to Andy, and then we'll see what he's got planned for us tonight. If you need stuff out of the bag, Andy, do you want to get anything out before we start?
Yeah.
Just look over here, because sometimes, like, we've heard footsteps here in the past. Just standing and being quiet, you can pick stuff up. That's the church over there, the chapel. And it's that section that George Marsh haunts. So Andy's just setting up the EMF meters. We're going to dot them around here and there. So if they start flashing, we know we've got some activity.
Oh, yes, we know it's the home job.
Oh, is that coming through already? That was quick.
We know it's your home, Colonel.
Has somebody's name come through?
Felt frightened. Who felt frightened?
Who felt frightened?
Home felt frightened.
You felt, maybe they feel frightened because we're coming into their home. There's no need to be frightened of us at all. We're friends.
Nosy posh where?
Nosy posh.
Nosy posh.
Nosy.
Someone being nosy on that.
Yeah, he doesn't like us.
Wounded.
He doesn't like us being here because
It's cold.
Yeah, it's very cold.
Some gusted.
It's really cold.
Who's that making me cold? God, I remember it's really cold.
Yeah, it is
Really
cold.
breezy here.
Yeah.
Like somebody to come through that door.
I thought I saw a flash then by the corner of my eye though.
By that door.
Yeah. I didn't get it on this because I'm
Somebody
fine.
near the door.
Colonel Ainsworth, if you're here, please come out. We want to talk to you. Do you want to do EVP?
I did an EVP, yeah.
Because we got EVP last time, didn't we, when we were asking out? But we couldn't film it because we had some issues with the battery last week. Which again, I think is paranormal messing with the equipment. I always believe that that's the case.
Anybody wants to come out.
Yeah, that's a good
Get
idea.
the EVP out of
All
here.
right.
I'll do an EVP because
Yeah, because we got one last week. And what happened on part one, we'd just finished filming
yeah.
when we picked up the EVP, so we didn't catch it on camera.
So, see if we get
But we'll try again because it's really active, this area, with it being their particular place.
out.
So Colonel Ainsworth and Lady Ainsworth had separate bedrooms, separate living quarters. Lady Ainsworth seems to be quite friendly, but Colonel Ainsworth doesn't like people coming here into his hall. So Andy's going to ask out and I'm going to keep quiet.
Okay. I'm going to start recording. Any second. No, so we're ready. Is there anybody here who wants to talk to us? Colonel Ainsworth, Lady Ainsworth. Now's your time to speak. Can you make one of these lights flash? One by the door, one on the chair. Or is there anybody else here who'd like to speak to us? Is there anything you want to say to us? Now's your time.
Please come forward, Colonel Ainsworth. Please come forward, Lady Ainsworth. We'd love to meet you and speak to you. Or any of the other Ainsworths.
Or anybody else?
Or George Marsh, if you're here. Please come and join us. Please come and speak to us.
Just speak through the red light. Anything you want to say? Well, it's yeah, I disrespect you. We're just here to learn about you.
Hid from.
Hid from? Who did you hide from?
Just listen it back, and then if you get anything, let me know. I'll just film around a little bit, see if we get any orbs. Would anybody like to come forward and walk towards me while I'm filming?
Didn't see.
Didn't see.
Didn't see. What didn't you see?
Now's your chance to come forward, and I can see you. And everybody will be able to see you. And if you want to speak to us, now's your time.
Can't see.
fresh time.
Please come forward, Caroline, to us. Please come forward, Lydia, to us. We'd love to meet you and speak to you.
You heard anything
Lydia,
yet?
further to us.
Or anybody else.
George Marsh, if you're here, please come and join us. Please come and speak to us.
Just speak through the red line. Anything you want to say. We're here to harm you or disrespect you. We're just here to learn about you.
Hid from.
Hid from. Who did you hide from?
Many.
Lily? Does that say Lily?
Many.
Lenny?
That answered the question to that.
Well, it did, didn't it? Who did you hide from? Lenny?
Many.
Who's...
Many.
Many? As in many people?
Yeah.
That might be George Marsh, you know. Because he did go into hiding when they were persecuting him.
That might
Because they were looking for him and he hid out here.
It's what?
Gas.
Gas. Didn't see, can't see. Many. Gas.
I don't know where the gas comes into it, but he definitely was hiding out here, you know, at the time, because he knew he was being persecuted. But they caught up with him and they had a trial actually here, and I'll show you exactly the room where they did the
Who
trial.
did you hide from?
That room up there, the top, that's where they did the trial of George Marsh. George Marsh, if you're there, please come to the window. Let me see you, or let us hear you. We know what happened to you, we know your story. We know that you were put on trial here at Smithills Hall. And we also know you were taken to Lancaster and incarcerated there. And then you were taken to Chester and burnt at the stake. In a very cruel way. The cruel way being that they poured tar over him to make the death longer and more painful. But he would not, I think the words he used were, I will not recant. I will not recant my faith. Happened to a lot of martyrs back in those days. It was when the church was going from Roman Catholic to Church of England, from Roman Catholic to Church of England. And those people that didn't convert lost their lives. And the martyrs were the Protestant Catholic Church of England people that wouldn't convert back to Catholic faith. And they've all been martyred now. Colonel Ainsworth, if you're here, please come forward. We were speaking with you before. You didn't seem very happy, but we had a lot of people with us in the courtyard. You put some messages through telling us to go away. And that you didn't want us here. And we heard footsteps. Was that you?
What? On the EVP. You'll have to listen to it later.
Can you hear something?
Oh, it goes from like normally on that recorder
Yeah.
to sounding like we're in a room,
Really? Like an echo?
like an echo. Yeah.
See, I always believe that they can mess with our equipment. So last week we had a problem with the camera, didn't we? We film.
The sound of it recorded.
Liked.
Well, I saw a light over there before, a flash in that door,
You
but I
were
didn't.
singing.
Did it say light?
Light.
Light.
Are you been singing?
No, I've not been singing. Only when we were singing that pirate song around
You
there
know you're
on the
singing
beginning.
now.
Not sang since then. Like have you heard singing? Is somebody singing?
It's not all music, it's music, innit?
Oh shit, that flew right into me, that. What, it's a flipping, I don't know what it was anyway, it flew into me. So I was singing like choral or like radio?
Like a woman humming.
So what if it's Rose Fletcher, the maid that we got before? Rose, if you're here, please come through that door.
Yeah, that's it.
I can't hear anything.
I know I can hear that music.
Yeah, but that might be someone in the distance playing music, innit?
Meek.
Meek.
Meek. So we're
Meek.
trying to bring through Rose Fletcher, the chambermaid, that fell to the bottom of the stairs and died. They weren't sure whether she was
Tilt.
pushed or whether she
Let's try a bit
slipped.
of,
Should we cut us her in the courtyard on the second part? But she used to ring the servants' bells. Well, I think it was her because it started after she died and they had to remove, they ended up disconnecting the servants' bells.
try a bit of,
Rose, please come and talk to us if you're here. What happened to you? Were you running fast and you tripped over your skirt?
I could have done.
Could have done. Is that what it said? Maybe she doesn't know. Maybe it was so quick she didn't know what happened. All I know is they found her at the bottom of the stairs and they weren't sure, you know, how she died. There is some background music, Andy. I can hear it.
Yeah, I can hear that.
Yeah.
It's still the Juliet.
What's it said? That's really loud, that music, wherever it is.
You're upset.
Why are you upset?
Why are you upset? Someone killed you. Ghost.
Really? Who's Ghost? Can you give us your name? What happened to you? Were you frightened? You know when we got that before.
I could have done.
You know when we got that before I felt frightened. Maybe it was her saying she felt frightened. I just got a real sudden feeling that she was in fear.
Is it you, Rose?
Were you frightened of the man that you work for? The man who still stamps around on the top floor to this day, banging doors.
Where are you now?
Flash the EMF meter if you stand in the doorway. Come through that door. Let me see you. Lady Ainsworth, are you here? Were you interested in ghosts? You must have known you were living in a haunted house. Some of these ghosts were here long before you lived here. They must have known they were living in a haunted house, Andy.
Yeah,
Mustn't they? They must have seen George Marsh. You must have known that story.
George Marsh.
Did it say George Marsh?
George
Did
Marsh.
it? So you're with us?
Is it you, George?
Have you got something you'd like to say?
I was there at Newsham.
Oh, maybe someone was there at Newsham. Maybe someone could be there and has come here. Who was there at Newsham? Who's been with us before? What's your name, please?
What's it?
Try and let us know somehow that you're here.
Say your name again. Say, say your name again. Say your name clearly. Say your name. Say your name again. Say your name, if you can, say your name again. So we know who you are. I'm gonna try this one back. Right, I don't know how to do this one.
The police. Whoop whoop, that's the sound of the
The
police.
police.
Whoop whoop, that's the sound of the
Yes, no
police.
nonsense.
Probably coming for us.
Is it you, George?
No, he doesn't drive a police car.
Are you here?
Are you here, George?
Respect you.
Please come forward if you're here. Let us hear your story. What happened? Are there some parts missing from your story that we don't know?
Yes.
Okay, because they've documented your story. So what would you like people to know that hasn't been documented about you?
I'm just doing the yes and no one now. So
Oh, so you want just yes or no?
Uh,
Okay.
can you just confirm that, George? It's definitely you. Please, we're not. I don't know. Just want to know you're there so we can tell your story.
Did you hide out here at Smithills Hall?
No.
Okay. Were you brought to Smithills Hall from somewhere else?
Yes.
So the story is that he was already here as a priest. So obviously they brought him from somewhere else, didn't they? He must have had his own parish or something.
Can you just confirm something, George?
Did you have your own parish, George?
No.
So he must have done some other work.
Is it your footprint that's there? I know a lot of people say it is, but was it your footprint that's inside the hall by the door, by the stairs? Oh, it's going to be. Yes,
It is his
it
footprint.
is your footprint, but was it made when you stamped on the floor? Yes.
So it's true then about that. Just so people know, there is a slate inside the hall with a footprint in it, and they always thought it related to George Marsh stamping his foot on the floor in fury when he was persecuted, when he was tried and found guilty. And there's always been a myth like, is it true, is it not? So obviously it's true then.
Yeah.
That's interesting then. That puts that to rest really, doesn't it? Because it's
Oh,
always
yeah.
been a is it or isn't it
Yeah.
type of thing.
Yeah.
But when I was growing up, we were always told it was the footprint of George Marsh.
Yeah.
That's been passed down through my family. Is there anything else you'd... Oh, it's a yes and no. What are you doing at the minute?
No, I'll
Okay.
come back onto Deadcom now.
Yeah, see if you can get some more definite messages through. This man, George Marsh, he gets seen quite a lot around here. I've never seen him, Andy's never seen him, but some of the people that work here have caught a glimpse through the mirror of him and things like that. One lady saw him sitting on the stairs, and then when she looked back, he'd gone. So he's frequently seen, has been frequently seen up here. He's one of the most famous ghosts there is. And there's several in this place, but this one I think is probably one of the top two that's mostly seen. And the monk is the other one. Well, it's either a priest in a long, like, black frock coat, or it's a monk, which has been seen several times. And I've seen that one as well, besides.
Sex, gift.
Gift. Pack.
Yeah, but you know what our Jane told us about? Listen up. Do you remember when we was talking to Jane about this?
Yeah.
She said, because you know she's psychic, she picks up this stuff. The top floor there
Yeah.
housed a religious person, a priest, or who was used to like fraternise with women, and they put him up there secluded because he was a bit of a nuisance to the rest of the religious order.
Right.
So I wonder if that's relating to that. Well, you know, when Jane picked it up, because he was walking around and she said, I've never liked that window at the bottom. And I said, well, you know, the paranormal groups have picked up there's something on up there in that room. And Jane said, I know exactly what it is. It's a priest locked up in there because he's been fraternising with women and younger women and stuff like that, or possibly even younger men. And that's probably what maybe that's about.
Didn't know.
Didn't know.
Didn't know. What
What
didn't you know?
Disc.
Disc. What disc?
Good clue.
It's a good clue.
Disc. Well, what would disc have meant in those
Disc.
days? Some.
Good.
Relied on.
You relied on? Who did you rely on? Give me the name of somebody you relied on. Who did you rely on? Who did you rely on? Who did you rely on?
Andy, if you want to do your ritual at the Celtic Cross, we'll have to head on up there because I'm just thinking battery time.
Yeah.
Off.
Okay.
So just get the stuff and then we'll... Have you got the EVP recorder?
Yeah, I've got the EVP.
Alright, well, I'll tell you what, then I'll start walking up and then you can, yeah, we'll set up when you get there. Right, so Andy's going to do a ritual at the Celtic Cross. We're going to try and stir it up a bit because we're going to light a pentacle with candles. We'll go down the path this time because we went up the lawn last week on part one. If you watch part one, we've already visited the Celtic Cross once. So we're going to go this way this time, down the steps and up the garden path. Might be a little dark for a few minutes till we get there, but then you'll be able to see because we're going to light the candles. We're going to do a little ritual. We're going to put our head torches on red because we're going to try and invoke the darker side in a positive way, not in a negative way. I'm not talking like demonic or anything like that. I'm just talking about, you know, Andy and I do practice witchcraft, and sometimes we like to just take things a little darker by stirring it up a little bit, doing our own thing and going against what the popular belief was back in those days. That light's not flashing now this week, Andy. That was flashing in part 1. There was a light flashing in the hall, but I wasn't too sure whether it wasn't like a security light of some sort. But I don't know, because it wasn't flashing and then it was and then no it isn't, so some things you just don't know if it is or it isn't, you can't really say. So up here, this used to be the summer house back in the day, and eventually they got rid of the summer house, and now they brought the Celtic cross from Churchgate, Bolton, and put it up here. So this cross would have been witness to many executions and things. Probably people in the stocks having like rotten veg and fruit thrown at them and all that, probably. This cross has seen probably many things like that. So it would have been a religious place for people. So we're going to stir it up a little bit by, we've got the pentacle and the candles are in the side pocket. I'm going to light that. I'm going to put the head torches onto red. I'll do mine now actually while I'm just setting it up. Alright, so that's my head torches now on red.
Yep.
I'll just show you what it is that we're doing. It's not very good lighted up here to be fair. Right, okay. That's we've got head torches on, so we're going to put the head torches onto red. Andy's lighting the pentacle with 5 candles. And we're going to do a little ritual which might stir it up for people that are religious. So like George Marsh might not particularly like what we're doing, and probably not the Ainsworth either, because yeah, are you ready? I'll just turn it back onto you, and then we need to put your head torch onto red as well. Sometimes you've got to stir it up a little bit to get some activity. You can't always just, do the straightforward normal paranormal. Sometimes you've got to do experiments and see what works.
See what happens.
Yeah, that's all we can do, innit? Just try and see what happens.
What I'm going to do is, I'm going to do what I'm doing.
So that's the pentacle being lit now with the 5 candles. And the pentacle represents earth, air, fire, water, spirit in the witchcraft world. And what we do, we use spirit guides, and we cast a circle of salt water, and we invoke spirit guides to help us to bring forward spirits from the other realm. And that enables us to make contact, have conversation, whatever, to find out what spirits are here and why. Do they come and visit, or are they stuck here permanently? But we'll be doing more witchcraft around Halloween season, the end of October, so we'll be able to show you some of our rituals, and we'll be able to teach you a little bit of what we do more then. So Andy's going to put his head torch to red. Do you want me to do your red torch? Do you want to do it yourself?
No.
Alright, so this is the pentacle. So it's earth, air, fire, water, spirit. This is the Celtic cross, which is about 400 years old, something like that. It was, like I say, the guillotine or the execution block would have been right in front of it one time. The Earl of Derby, who haunts the Man and Scythe in Bolton, was executed in front of this cross. So you never know, sometimes you can pick up other spirits. That's someone playing a harp. We've already invoked the religious people forward. Can hear animals up here, so if you hear any noises, we've got like foxes and stuff. That window's lit up over there again, but it's not flashing this time. That was the window that it was off, and then when we came up here, everything was in pitch black, and then we were walking back, it had come on, and it was flashing. So I don't know what was going on with that window, to be fair. I don't. Put your head torch to red. If we fall down a ditch now, because I'm going backwards in the pitch dark, trying to get a good... Would any of the Ainsworths like to come forward and attend our ritual? It's like an Enigma video. Would George Marsh like to come up and join us? I've just got a strong smell of wine. Again, a really strong smell of wine like we did at Wally. Just wafted across then. Could you smell it? We had it at Wally, yeah. But you think about it though, they would have used communion wine and that, wouldn't they?
Stop that, and I'm going to put on.
What we need to do now is ask out and see if it's made anybody come forward. Like, Colonel Ainsworth might be ranting and raving now, thinking we're doing black rituals at his cross, but this is in no way a black ritual. We don't do that kind of thing at all. We don't believe in that kind of magic. This is just literally a summoning of spirits in a different way. Moths flying around.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this here now.
Okay, yeah.
See whether.
But if you're running that, you won't be able to hear if you've got an EVP.
Yeah, I'm putting the EVP now.
Oh, you're doing... Okay, right. Alright, I'll keep quiet now.
So I'm going to press record now, see if we get anything. I'm just going to keep quiet.
There's animals.
There's a bit of noise in the background, but we can keep
Yeah, because the road's not far.
see if anything happens.
And there's tossers on the roads too. It's the regular Saturday night racing gang.
Is there anything anybody wants to say to us? Yeah. Spirits. All the spirits. Spirits in here.
That light's gone off at the hall again now. Over there, yeah, it's pitch black again now. So why is that? See, this is what I don't get. The place is locked up, there's nobody in there. So unless that's on a timer, perhaps it's on a timer.
Minutes,
4 minutes.
yeah.
Do you want to listen to some of it back now?
Yeah, can listen to it back. Yeah, see if
Because if we've got something we can ask out, use something else, can't we?
Yeah, that's another idiot.
Did you get something there?
No, noises. Like scraping.
Scraping. What, you like a stone?
Like somebody scraping on gravel.
That's what we heard round there on part 2. When those people came and joined us. We heard the same thing. He heard the feet like that, and I heard it. We both went at the same time to check it out.
Yeah.
We've heard feet on gravel round here before.
Yeah, we have.
Alright, who's here, please? Come and show yourself on the camera. Come on. Yeah, I know. I don't get that light at
I don't
all.
get that, because it's not done that all night.
No, it's not. It's been off all night. Why is it when we're here messing around at this cross? Well, not messing around, but why is it when we're doing stuff at this cross that
That light
starts?
starts. That hasn't done that. It wasn't on before we came.
Well, you did a walk round, didn't you?
I walked round. That wasn't on.
Well, it's just started flashing now. So I don't get why that is doing
I
that.
could understand if we were walking past, but why is it suddenly every time we come up here, that starts?
Maybe it is a paranormal phenomenon then. Maybe it's something that just... Because it is a very haunted house, this place, isn't it? It's a beautiful night, by the way. All the stars are out. Probably going to be able to see that plane. It's there. I'll see if I can film it for you. That's it there, just going right over our heads. Yeah, I know. It's gone off again, hasn't it? Has it come on? Just flashes off and on at random.
It only happens when we come up here.
Yeah, it does. So maybe somebody is signalling to us. But don't forget, that block, there used to be mental health patients in there. And elderly people as well in there.
We walked past that and it didn't come on.
No, it didn't. It's just random.
We've been.
It doesn't really have any set pattern, does it?
And I walked.